Hi guys, it's Brandy. Welcome to my garden. And today I wanted to talk with you about sowing your fall garden seeds and just some helpful tips to get you started. This is Sowing Back, and welcome. So the first thing I want to tell you, we are now, well, here in Georgia, we call August the dog days of summer. And it's at the beginning of August. Now typically I like to start, I'm in zone 7B, and my first frost date is typically October 31st is when I am estimated to have my first frost date. I will say in the last couple of years, I'm pretty sure it was last year, we didn't get it till almost December 5th. So, but we still get it cool enough that it's more for fall crops. One of the great things about planting fall crops are the pest pressures start to go down. Pests can be a real discourager in the garden, and it's not as hot. So it's actually a nice time of year to be out in the garden and to be harvesting food. It's also the season where you actually get vegetables. Most of our summer crops are fruits. And so this is when you're going to get your leafy green vegetables. It's when you're going to get a lot of your root crops, your carrots, your rutabagas, turnips, all those kinds of things. So those are real vegetables. And so you can, in a lot of areas, you can direct sow a lot of these things. I will just be honest with you, I have not found that to be very productive, with the exception of maybe some spinach and kale. Now carrots you do have to direct sow. I've had no luck transplanting those, and there are ways that you can do your carrots in the ground. I'm gonna wait probably another couple weeks before I put my carrots in, just because it's still pretty toasty and I have plenty of time, and they can stay, they're frost hardy, so they can stay in over, matter of fact, I let mine overwinter, and so I'm not so worried about that. So what do? Well, you need to figure out what seeds you want. And so you need to find out which seeds, what is it you like to eat. There's nothing wrong with growing a couple things maybe that you might want to try or get your kids to try, but you really want to stick to things that you like to eat. And so think about that when you're thinking about planting for a fall garden. The other thing you want to think about is what is the medium I'm going to start, and what am I going to put those things in. For me, I actually have some of these. I love these. I got these from what is it, Garden Solutions or Grower Supply? I don't know, it's either Garden Solutions, Grower Supply, one of those. I'll have to put it down in the description. I'll link them. And I love these. These are heavy duty. I use these in the spring. These were kind of like a game changer. I like these much better than, they're 2.5 inch individual cups. I like these better than the starter cells for planting. I also like that they come in colors, because then I can color code what I'm doing. The other thing I would recommend are some popsicle sticks, some Sharpies, so that you can label your popsicle sticks. You need to find a good seeding mix or make your own. We have played around with making our own, and we haven't found one that outside of Fox Farm, Happy Frog soil, we haven't found anything that does as good a job as the Sun Grow. This is an organic seedling mix, and so that's what I'm going to use. I know for the fall garden that I want to plant, we love rutabagas. If you saw my last video on my green juice, definitely going to be doing some cilantro. I've got trying to find my parsley. Oh, yep, my flat leaf parsley. I have some spinach. I also have some kale. I also have a Russian red kale, so I've got a couple. I've got a Premier blend and then a Russian red kale. I also have some ruby red Swiss chard. I'm going to try again some early wonder beets. Johnny is excited about turnips. I am going to do some garden chives. And I am going to be doing, I'm not ready for my carrots yet, but I am going to do, I have a butterhead lettuce from Haas and a romaine lettuce as well. And I'm going to try 2 different versions of cabbage that I want to try to see if one does better than the other. I also have some Brussels sprouts, and I have another slow bolt cilantro, and this is a salad bowl mix that Emma Gardner sent when I ordered my seeds. It was just like a freebie. And collards. Collard greens, man. If you don't eat collard greens, you ain't right. You ain't right. So, those are going to be what I'm going to start. And so, what I start with is I'm going to go ahead and make my popsicle stick tags first. And I'm going to label what they are, what's their name, and I'm going to put the date. Because when you transfer these out, you can put the popsicle stick where they're planted, and that will help you remember your date. I just think it's helpful. I did that with my potatoes, and that helped me keep up with the different varieties and when to harvest, even though it was kind of a bust. It still is helpful. Then, once you get that done, you're gonna mix up your seedling mix. Now, what you're gonna need, I like to use a Tractor Supply bucket. I like Tractor Supply. Anyone who knows me knows I was one of their first customers when they opened our location in Kennesaw. Was very excited about it, and thankful that they're so close by. They have a lot of handy things, especially if you have chickens. So it makes it really easy to get things. So anyway, I have my seed mix. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to empty this whole bag into my bucket. And then you're going to need water. Now there's 2 ways you can do this. Some people will just take the seed mix and they will fill their trays and then they'll water either from the bottom or overhead. I'm going to be honest, we've done that before. We didn't have a great germination rate. Now I will caveat that saying that we started those inside when we did it that way. In the spring when I started my seeds, I did it this way I'm going to show you, and I like this way better. So you put your soil in your bucket. I'm going to put most of all of my bag of soil in there, and then I'm going to start putting water in, and I have a nice rubber glove, and I want to get it until I can make it into like, I think about like a snowball consistency, but not where you have water dripping out. So I'll show you what that looks like when I get that consistency. I'll give you, a visual of kind of what you're looking for. And then I pack my trays, and or not my trays, but my pots. And then I also have a tray like this I can set them in, and then I have another tray that is enclosed that I can sit this down in, and after they sprout, I can water from the bottom. It's better to water from the bottom once you have plants, because you want to get those strong, healthy roots, but you don't want to over moisturize the greenery, your leaves and things like that, because you can get mold, you can get rot, things like that. So when you start them, so like when you think about your Brussels sprouts or your cabbages, you need a square foot for each one of those, okay? So I'm gonna do 8 of, I'm going to try to do 8 Brussels sprouts, 8 turnips, 8 beets, 8 rutabagas, a total of 16 cabbages because I have 2 different varieties, and then my chives. I'm going to do those in these. I don't know why cilantro ended up over here. And then I'm going to actually use one of these for the lettuces and things, because otherwise I'm going to run out of pots to grow enough. This is a cell tray, and again, you can, a lot of times, believe it or not, we have seen these at Home Depot, Lowe's. They're just, and like I said, they recycle and you can get them. Yours may not be this small, maybe they have some that are bigger. We actually got our cell trays from a hydroponic store in Atlanta several years back. And the next thing you want to know is you need to be starting with clean trays. And if you take care of your stuff and you don't leave it out in the sun, like you have a way to store it, a lot of this stuff will last, especially, you know, if you're going to make an investment in it. I can tell you these at the hydroponic store we went to, they didn't cost much at all. And now, I will say that was before the last couple years, so I don't know if that's changed a whole lot. I can tell you the other ones that I got, the color-coded pots, I think I paid like $14 for 200 something of them. And I have a spring set, and I'm using this set for the fall that I set aside. So I have my soil here in the bucket. You can see I have my hose, and it's really handy, especially if you have fingernails, to have a glove, because you have to really work this. This does not, because it's got the peat moss and stuff in it, it takes a while to get it incorporated. You'll think you have enough water and you don't. So I have a little hose here. Can you see my hose? And I just need to turn the valve on. And I'm going to get some water going. And this is why you don't want to pour the whole bag in at first, because you want to kind of work it to say, well, is that right? Because you'll think, oh yeah, but it just soaks it up. And like I said, you can totally play around with mixing your owns. If you want to get sand and different soils, you can totally do that. Yeah, I can't believe that. But see, that's kind of what you wanting it. That's pretty good. You want it to be moist because you want your seeds to germinate. They need that moisture to germinate, but they don't need it soaking wet. And so this is actually pretty good. I can't believe I did this on the first try. That's what you're looking for. So let me turn my water off because it's going every which way. Okay, so I'm gonna move the camera, and then I'll show you how to get it in your tray. Alright, so I'm going to show you how to do, yes, it's on, sorry. I'm going to show you how to do the cell tray first. I wanted to show you, I did label all my popsicle sticks, so I have those. I don't do one for each cell. I do one for each row that the item's going to be in. So I'm going to move my seeds, and to me the easiest way to do this is to, let's see if I can turn it over here. Okay, yes. So you can see the cell tray is you just want to get the dirt, okay? And you're going to come and just cover your cell tray like that until you get dirt. not dirt. That's the incorrect term. It's soil. Dirt is dead. Dirt won't grow anything, okay? It has no life left in it. You want soil, not dirt. But being from the South, we say dirt. And but it's not technically the correct term. You want good soil, and you want to take care of your soil. So you see how this just goes in when you have that good consistency. And I think this one is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 4, yeah, 6 times 12. Let's see. Can I do it in my head? 6 times 12, that would be 10. Let me think. Oh gosh. That would be 60 plus 2 is 72. That's what I thought. It's a 72 tray. Let me tell you, getting old is no joke. Cognitive. It takes me a minute. Used to, I wouldn't even thought twice about it. Anyway, so you're going to fill all your cells up, and then, I'm almost there. And the difference with the little cups that I do is I just stick my little cups into my dirt. Here, let me grab one. So I have a cup here, and I'm just going to stick it in. And I'm just going to fill the dirt like that and then put it in my tray. So it's kind of, that part may take a little bit longer, but when you're planting and you don't have to pot up, these lettuces, once these are ready, and the kale and all that, I can just plant this out. And you don't need a square foot for these, but the ones I'm planting in the little pots are going to be my ones that, yeah, they need more space in the garden. And you have to think about that too, is one of those pots, you're going to get one cabbage. If it works, you're going to get one, okay? It's not like lettuce and kale and even some of the broccolis you can cut and come again. And I don't have any broccoli. I cannot find my broccoli seed. I have for 2 days. I have been tearing through things. I don't know what happened to them. So today, my Azure orders coming next week, and I got on and they actually had some heirloom broccoli seed. So I was able to get it added to my order. So I will do my broccoli starting next week when I get my Azure order. So it'll be a little bit later, but I'm not too terribly worried. They're pretty cold hardy, and to be quite honest, it doesn't get that cold here. It'd be nice if we had a nice winter, because my garlic did not do too well last year because it just didn't get cold enough for it to have the process of stratification, which is what will help your bulb. That's what makes your bulbs grow. And so I kind of just had one head, and it was really small. It was really, so I had to mix up a little bit more soil for these trays. And all you do is you just want to get your soil in it, and so it's a little bit different because you got to stick it in there. That's okay. But I love the colors on these. They also come in like all black if you wanted to do that. I just think the colors are helpful because that way you can do all one variety. And oops. Hold on, I gotta get my seeds out of the way. I meant to move them. Water's going down them. Okay. So, and I think for planting, these are really nice because you can kind of lay them out with how you want it to look, or where you're going to put it in your garden. Now I will have extra room because I'm not going to plant in my front side garden. I don't know that I'm going to plant a whole lot up there. it doesn't get the same amount of sun as it's going to get back here, and so I found that it was okay, but not, I don't know if it's a fair, because the trees got cut partway through the season, so I don't know. And not only that, I don't know that on that garden that I want to build. The type of beds we have up there are pickets, and I don't think I want to build the covers for those, because we'll eventually have to replace those. These really nice beds back here we built, I imagine we're going to get many, many years out of these, so I'm not anticipating that that's going to be an issue. Did I say I live close to a school? I live close to many schools. Charter schools, private schools, high school, middle school, elementary school. I got it all. So that's why there's buses and all of that. Sorry, some of this didn't get as mixed as I wanted. Alright. So that's why I like this. So I'm going to finish getting these done, and then I'll hop back on and when we plant the seeds. Alright guys, so I just did my little holes. The first thing I'm going to grow, or I'm going to plant in the green ones, are going to be the Brunswick cabbage, and these are small cabbage seeds, are really small. So you just want to do your best when you're dropping them in, and remember, for every cabbage you grow, you need 12 square foot for that one head of cabbage. But cabbage stores well, and it's really good for you on so many things. You can do it, you know, you can make your own kraut and ferment it, you can make your own kimchi out of it, all kinds of stuff. So I got that planted. My next one I'm going to do is the rutabaga. If you have never eaten a rutabaga, you hadn't eaten, man. My gram, she made sure we all grew up eating rutabaga, and it's a Dickens, it's a waxy kind of root vegetable. It is a Dickens to get that thing peeled, but it's worth it because it tastes so good. Now if you know a way to peel it better than another, let me know. I'd love to hear about it, because that's my only complaint about the rutabaga, but it's so good, and you can really use it in place of potatoes, like if you do beef stew, any of that kind of stuff. They're so good. Alright, the next one I'm going to do are my turnip, or Johnny's turnips. He loves turnips. I like them. They're similar, but they have a little bit different flavor. I think that the rutabaga is a little, I don't know if, it has a little bit more of a twang, if that's even a word to describe food. To me, turnips are a little bit more mild. But then the rutabaga greens, to me, because you can eat the greens just like you can eat turnip greens, the rutabaga greens actually, to me, are more mild, and I would say that the turnip greens are more, they're a little bit stronger of a flavor. And I'm going to do beets down here, and this is all that I'm going to do with you guys, because I have to get my son to work. So I'm going to, when I come back after dropping him off, I'm going to finish these other ones out and get them planted, and I'll take a picture and tag it on at the end, but I'm afraid it's already getting long. So these are the beets, and you can see they're a little bit bigger, and beets don't have to have like a square foot. They don't need that much space. If you want to know like how to balance it out, go to the website. I'll try to remember to put it in the description. Square Foot Gardening, they have a website. They have a great book. I have the book, but you can go to their website and it'll tell you how much space you need for each of your different things you're trying to grow. And I have had difficulty with beets, so I'm actually putting a few extra seeds in. I don't know why I've had such a hard time, but I really would like to grow them. They're good for your heart. They're so good for your heart. Okay, and cardiovascular system. And again, when you're making sure your seeds are in there, you may find, oh, I got to put a little more soil because it went way down. That's okay. Just don't plant them too far down so that they can't reach the light to germinate. You don't want to do that. And if you feel like if you do feel like, well, maybe you didn't get the water ratio enough, you can get a squirt bottle, like at the dollar store, and you can mist it on top. And if you feel like it needs more water, you can always go from the bottom. That would totally be okay. But you don't want to water overhead. What we ended up, when we did it that way, we washed so many of our seeds out, or we got mold, and they just didn't, they were not healthy plants. So that's why I like this way better. Okay, so I'm gonna sign off with that, and like I said, I'll do some pictures. Oops, sorry, when I get them done. So, and I'll tag it into the end of the video so you can see what it looks like, and I'll kind of do updates to show you. Won't be this long, but show you how they're doing, or if they don't do, if I had a problem or whatnot. But I encourage you, get a pack of seeds and try growing something. You can do it in a pot, you can do it on your patio. There's a lot of things actually you can grow inside. So, you know, give it a shot, because if you plant seeds, your money is gonna go so much further. Even having to buy the starter soil, usually those bags are about $5. If you can get a bigger bag, if that's all you can get is a bigger bag of potting soil, go for it, okay? It's better than not trying. And like I said, if you're not going to be able to try because one plant's $5 at the garden center, and that's one cabbage, $5, and that's if one cabbage works, or whatever the plant is, that's not going to be worthwhile to you. So, but getting a pack of seeds, especially if you can get them for like $2 a pack, means you can grow. You can grow different things. Also, if you have limited mobility, green stalks are a great way to go. I'm not an affiliate. I have 2 myself. My mother-in-law has, I think she has 3, and they have allowed her to garden. Grow bags work great on a patio. They're pretty inexpensive on like an Amazon. So there's ways that you can do it. And if you're looking for a little greenhouse for like a patio, my Aldi's have had very small ones that you can put over your pots. They were under $20, and so there are ways to do it. Get creative and start thinking, you know, maybe you have to think outside the box. So what? It's better to try and to fail than not to try at all. So with that, thank you for watching. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you next time.